Welcome to the unknown, a place where ghosts, cryptids, and extraterrestrials are sought. This is where you'll find answers to questions about what lurks in the dark. This is Periscope Uncensored.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Periscope Uncensored here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Alabama. I am one half of the paranormal powerhouse, Clarissa Vasquez, and the other half of the paranormal powerhouse this evening, as always, is Mr. Jax.
Well, hello.
How are you this evening?
How is everybody? I'm doing fantastico. How are you?
I am Smurfy.
Great.
I had my monthly coffee date with my aunties this afternoon. And so I'm hyped up on caffeine and family stories, and I am just swell.
Great. You had a wonderful time.
I did. I always enjoy visiting with my two aunts. One of them is very much into paranormal phenomena, and so she asks me regularly, well, have you checked out this place, or have you checked out this place, or, I read a story about a ghost town, and, ghost towns really aren't my thing, because there really aren't a lot of ghosts in ghost towns, but she's really super into it, and I love the fact that she likes to share with me, and my other aunt is just one of those fun-loving, goofy kind of people, and we even picked on my dad a little bit today.
Yeah.
My one of my aunts stole my phone when my dad called and told my dad that I'm pregnant, which of course I'm not.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and we were laughing about it. She goes, "Well, I thought about telling him you had 6 weeks to live."
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, we had a good time, picking on my dad a little bit and telling stories about when my aunts were little. And then there were stories about, when I was little that my aunts had never heard before. And so we had a good time. We try to get together once a month and have coffee, and it's always a great time. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening and apologize for the technical difficulties that we had. We got a little bit of a late start this evening, and we're still having some technical issues that we are working on overcoming. So I apologize, folks, if sometimes things aren't as clear as they could be or should be. That's the nature of live radio. But we want to thank everybody who has tuned in via the WBHM digital broadcasting website. And if you're listening via Spreaker or one of our other internet affiliates, we encourage you to come on over to WBHM-DB.com, where you can participate in our fully interactive chat room and talk to like-minded and sometimes not so like-minded individuals. And good time is usually had by everyone in the chat room. And if you've got questions for Jax or myself or our guest, you're welcome to post them here in WBHM-DB.com chat room. And we'll do our very, very best to get those questions on the air. Our guest this evening is Charles Caron, and he is the founder and owner of Nightmare Productions. He's also the founder of New Hampshire Paranormal Research and the president of New Hampshire Paranormal Girls. So he's got a lot of irons in the fire, and we're really excited to talk to him about his research and his production company and some of his experiences. I think it's going to be a really good show.
It certainly sounds like it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So we'll be having him on after we come back from our first break of the evening. But big news coming up. As far as my personal research goes, I think we touched on this a little bit. No, actually, we didn't touch on it last week because I didn't find out until last Friday. The big investigation project at the Frontier History Museum here in Colorado is a go. It's actually going to happen on my birthday next month. So we're going to be doing that museum investigation. And there is also a hotel here locally that my organization, the Colorado Coalition of Paranormal Investigators, has been trying to get back into. The last time we investigated that hotel was in 2006, and they've been very anti-ghost hunters since. But the Historical Society told me last Friday that the hotel wants us to actually come in and do a full-scale investigation at the hotel. So,
Great.
yeah, so that was really cool and, big and exciting news. And when we do that hotel, that's going to be an all hands on deck investigation. It's a 5-story hotel with, I think, 300 rooms. So, yeah, big. So we're really excited about that. So, and to answer Kat's question, no, I don't think it was. I guess somebody tried to call in on the hotline, and Kat thought it was Jax trying to call in because Jax is having some sound issues, but nope, it wasn't him. It wasn't him.
Nope. I'm here. You can still hear me okay, right?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Beautiful.
So, is there anything new going on in the paranormal world out there in New England?
No, actually, I haven't been doing any research lately. I've been just kind of like relaxing a little bit, taking some time off. But I'm seriously thinking and considering getting back into it.
Good.
But there's places out here because I'm like literally like 2 towns away from America's hometown of Plymouth, Massachusetts, and it's the things out there that
exciting things.
Oh yeah, it just. I don't want to get into it right now, but there's some places that I would love to get into.
Sounds like I may have to make a road trip.
Yeah. I'm going to have to dig a little deeper and find out what I can find out and whether we can get in there or not. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we'll
for
see
sure.
what happens.
For sure. Because, I love investigating out there.
Oh, I know. Just like 4 years ago, we were at the infamous M1 Rock.
Yeah.
Rehoboth, Massachusetts, hot, deep, right in the center of the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, was that 4 years ago or was that 5 years ago?
I want to say
it was a while ago.
It was 4 years ago because I only joined the team in May. I'm coming up on that particular team.
Okay, so it is coming up on 5 years that we went to Anawan.
Was it, or was it like a year or two later?
I think it was that same year.
Was it?
Yeah.
But I still have the EVP recordings too, so
Yeah, well, we got to hear the drum beats.
I understand you've had problems and your files got corrupted or whatever, so I'll send you my copies.
Oh, great. Yeah, that was the night that I got that amazing mushroom photo.
Yes.
But on that note, it is time for our first break of the evening. But when we come back, we're going to have Charles Caron on the line. So stay tuned, folks. You're listening to Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting, and we'll be right back. 24 minutes past the hour here on Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Alabama. I am one half of the dynamic duo, Clarissa Vasquez.
I'm the Jax man.
The Jax
How you doing?
man.
Absolutely.
And, folks, we have got a great guest on the line this evening. As I mentioned before the break, he is the owner of Nightmare Productions. He is also the founder of New Hampshire Paranormal Research and the president of New Hampshire Paranormal Girls. So please join us in welcoming Mr. Charles Caron to the show.
How you doing, guys?
We are really excited to have you on the show this evening, sir.
Well, I appreciate having me on. I kind of feel humbled for that, so thank you.
Oh, the pleasure is ours. So for our listeners who are not familiar with you yet, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and what really got you started in this business?
All right. Well, first let me say I'm the owner and founder of also have the New Hampshire Paranormal Girls that I just started last year. I'm also co-founder to Nightmare Productions that I have with my brother Fingers, Eric Paquette, and and I'm also co-founder to the New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife out of Manchester, New Hampshire. What kind of got me started in this field, guys, is I've known my brother, Eric Paquette, for about 30 plus years. And we reconnected in a Walmart parking lot, to be completely honest with you. And at the time I saw his paranormal truck and I was like, "And you do the paranormal?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why?" I said, "Well, because I'm kind of interested, actually." He's like, "All right, well, come to my house." So I did that. And I get into his basement and he's like, "Well, I think I only got a camera position available for you, a tech position at the time." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know if I'm going to last here, guys." And, but the rest is history, because I was his lead investigator, bumped all the way up. And then I joined another team, which I'm no longer involved with, but I was involved with Hunting the Haunted out of Londonderry, New Hampshire. And then I founded my own team, which is New Hampshire Paranormal Research. And me and Brother Fingers at that point started Paranormal Conspiracy, and then Nightmare Productions, where we have our episodes now, which we've been filming. So that's kind of where I kind of started and where I am now.
Wow. So explain a little bit about Paranormal Conspiracy. What is that all about?
Okay, so Paranormal Conspiracy actually started out as the Eric and Charles reality talk show. He called me one day and he said, "I want to start something down in the basement." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I go down there and he had we had like 2 mics up, and he says, "Let's start a radio show." So he called it the Eric and Charles reality talk show. And what happened, guys, is it kind of took off. And people were like, they wanted to see more. So we turned the Eric and Charles reality talk show and then named it Paranormal Conspiracy. Paranormal Conspiracy at that point continued with the talk show, but then people wanted to see, wanted us to go out and do like live videos on spot. So like if we were going to investigation, they wanted to see us go live at first. And then, so we started doing that. And then unfortunately it kept going up and up. People wanted more. So we opened up Nightmare Productions and moved from there. So Paranormal Conspiracy actually started off as the Eric and Charles reality talk show.
Okay, and what exactly, did it encompass? I mean, was it like popular theories, or was it debunking a lot of misconceptions, or what was the conspiracy aspect?
We just named it Paranormal Conspiracy. To be honest with you, when we started, it was just going to be our talk show. We pretty much talked about everything, whether it was politics, paranormal, you name it. We talked about it. It really at that point wasn't even, we didn't go out and investigate. It was strictly a talk show. The fans wanted more, so we gave it to them. And then we turned Paranormal Conspiracy into, we go out and investigate, and, the rest is that.
Okay.
So Paranormal Conspiracy was pretty much like a talk show to begin with.
Very cool.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. And so
the fans wanted more, so we gave them more.
We know all about that, don't we, Jax?
Yes. So Paranormal Conspiracy, it doesn't have to do with actual conspiracies of the paranormal, correct?
No, okay. Like I said, when Paranormal Conspiracy started, which is first it was called the Eric and Charles reality talk show, and then my brother Fingers was like, well, why don't we just name our talk show Paranormal Conspiracy, and then the fans wanted us to go out and investigate, so we used Paranormal Conspiracy, and we used that as our talk show, and on and on.
Right. Okay. So you've got your fingers in a lot of proverbial pies here. Tell us about New Hampshire Paranormal Research then. What's the mission of that organization?
Okay, so I started that in 2016. I was on Brother Fingers' team with New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife, and I said to him, I want to do my own team. I want to venture out. I want to, move on, and I'm going to stick with your team, but I want to start my own team. The reason I started New Hampshire Paranormal Research is the same thing I wanted to get into the paranormals, because I wanted to be able to help the people better understand the paranormal. We're a nonprofit company, and we didn't care where you were, we've gone to PA, we've gone to New York, it didn't matter. My goal with New Hampshire Paranormal Research is to, if you have an investigation, we kind of want to make you feel safe in your own home. We kind of want to, help you. That was my goal. Because I've had some experiences growing up. I actually live in an old funeral home now where I live, which is very haunted. So when I started my own team, like I said, I kind of wanted to just venture on my own, but in the same sense, I wanted to be there for the community. I wanted to better, make the community better understand, and whatever we could do to help, we were there. I wasn't doing it to try to, to get anywhere. I didn't even think it would get big, to be honest with you, or to get the publicity I've gotten. My goal was to just start it and try to branch small, go to investigations, do what I had to do, and then, I have a paranormal truck, which is like a walking billboard for it. I've had people call me. My goal is just to better help the community and the people understand the paranormal, and so they're safe in their own home at the end of the day. If you call me at 3 a.m., I'm coming. And if I can't get to you, I've got friends in the community, the paranormal. I can call when it's out of state, 3 states away. I can make a call and get them the help they need. So.
Outstanding. And so,
awesome.
So let's talk a little bit about New Hampshire Paranormal Girls, because it's pretty clear that you're not a girl.
No.
So tell us a little bit about that organization.
Oh, absolutely. That I'm very, very proud of. So I have a couple of females that are on my team. that I kind of wanted to do something different. So I was sitting one day thinking, well, how can I amp it up a little bit? And I said, well, New Hampshire Paranormal Girls, why not? Get the 4 girls that are on my team. And when we go on investigation, they do their own investigation. We have a separate show, separate thing. We do ours and stuff like that. One thing I'm very proud of with the New Hampshire Paranormal Girls is 8 months that I've actually been advertising. I've already got a network that's actually looking into them, to be honest with you. I can't get into detail, but I can tell you their first seasons. So I'm very excited that I was actually able to, form that, if that makes sense, and to get them to where they need to be.
Outstanding. And so is the mission and focus of New Hampshire Paranormal Girls the same as New Hampshire Paranormal Research? Or
absolutely. That's okay. All of my companies, me and Erica we do the same thing. We're out there to help people better know, if you, like I said, if you call us, we're gonna do the best we can to help you. And that's why I kind of got into doing the paranormals, because I wanted to help. Like I said, you call me, I'm coming to help you if I can. If I can't, I'm going to get somebody who can. We just did something actually, which is very dear to me. I had the New Hampshire Paranormal Girls on site for this too. If I can tell you guys the story about it, if that's okay.
Sure.
Had weeks to live. And he bumped into me at a convenience store about 2 minutes from my house. And he said his last wish, he was following me on the website. He's like, I have 2 last wishes. And I said, what's that? He says, I want to go on a ghost hunt, and I want you to have the New Hampshire Paranormal Girls there. Well, lo and behold, me and my brother Fingers worked our magic on short notice, and we gave the gentleman his last wish. He was only able to stand for about 10 minutes that night. But he came down to the cemetery. We started the show. We did the introduction with him, and he had to go home, unfortunately. We finished the show. 2 weeks later, I found out that he had passed away.
Oh.
So we took that show in memory of him, and that'll be aired. It's being aired as one of our episodes.
Okay.
So that, to me, is like very deep. It's a rough subject for me, actually, to be honest with you, but I'm proud that I was able to do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's an incredible, act of human kindness right there. Even if it's, just a cemetery romp, to be able to grant somebody's wish and give them that experience. Now,
and it was short notice too.
Right. That's absolutely wonderful. If we can for a minute, let's compare apples to apples here a little bit,
Sure.
Because the New Hampshire Paranormal Girls organization really has my curiosity piqued. Have you noticed any correlation or not as far as the data between New Hampshire Paranormal Girls and New Hampshire Paranormal Research? Do you find that the girls have better success or different data results, or is it pretty even, Steven, or as the data and the research goes?
I didn't even, to be quite honest with you, I didn't even stop to think about that. I wanted to give them their own opportunity to go out and investigate as well, along with us. And I wanted them to, I wanted to try to do something different in the field. And they had mentioned it, the case manager on my team and the and one of the lead investigators had mentioned it on my team, and I kind of wanted to give them that opportunity. So, honestly, I didn't even try to think about comparing it. I figured it was all the same. We're all in there. I started, one company or another company for the same reason. I wasn't trying to, at least I didn't think I was trying to, I wanted to kind of make them the same, if that makes a little bit of sense. The only difference is when we go out and we investigate, they have their own thing, they investigate, and they'll have their own separate show, and I'll have my own separate show at the same time.
Is there a organization get requested for investigations more than the other?
No, well, if they did, I would, if that's, I've never had that call. 9 times out of 10, when we've gone on a site, I bring them along with, because they're on my team as well. And at the end of we do our investigation, and then I step back and then they do a separate investigation. That's when I first started. Now, their new season is coming up, their first season, and the case manager for that is actually going to branch out where they can ask kind of what I wanted to do. But when I first started it, no, I didn't. Like I said, I was testing the water, so to speak, to see if it would even, and it's, to me, I think it was a huge success. But that's my opinion.
Right. Yeah, it certainly sounds like there's room for experimentation and additional data collection, to see if the gender element plays a factor into the consistency, quality, and quantity of evidence obtained.
Right. Like I said, when it comes to, when we, like I said, let's say we went to the Lizzie Borden or we went to the cemetery that night, they filmed their episode, part of it. We filmed ours. But when the show gets put together, if they're filming for New Hampshire Paranormal Research at the time, then the evidence is put there. But if they're going to be a separate show for them, so they'll have their first season and episodes that are airing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, at the end of the day, like I said, I started it because they're actually the ones that mentioned it to me and said, well, what do you think about having an all-girls team? And I said, well, hey, I'm up for anything. It sounds like an awesome idea. And like I said, the rest is pretty much history.
Wow. So. Wow. That is really, that's cool and exciting, because I don't remember if it was, actually, I don't think it was you. I think it was Eric, because Eric reached out to me yesterday. And we were talking pretty extensively about, our history and longevity in the field. And because I've been in this field over 20 years, as has Jax. And so, to have not just one, but two organizations, with very similar missions, I would imagine that's quite the juggling act at times, because it's difficult enough, to have one organization and one mission, but to have two, that's actually pretty astounding.
To be quite honest with you, me and Eric are in sync very much. We work very closely together. We are we're like apples and apples, to be honest with you. We're very, when we started this, like I said, when he started with one team, which was New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife, and I joined his team. And then, like I said, I got to a point where I couldn't go no more. And I went to him and I said, look, I just want to start my own team. It's not that I want to leave you. We can work together as sister teams. I just want to, get my own team and vent. And like I said, the rest is history. I've been only doing it 5 years. I've been able to go to some awesome places. I've got my first Paracom I'm working on July of 2020, which I'm very ecstatic for. We work very good together, me and him, and I couldn't see not doing in this field without him. I'm the brains and he's the muscle. I mean, this guy can put a video together like you're watching it on TV, and I'm good with, getting stops, getting us out there, and we just work good together. Whether we book a stop for Paranormal Conspiracy, whether we book it for Paranormal Girls and research or Afterlife, we do what we got to do. At the end of the day, we're in this for one reason. We're there to help the community. We're there to better understand what's out there, and try to leave our mark.
For our next break of the evening, but when we come back, we're going to have more with Charles Caron, so stay tuned. You're listening to Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting, and we'll be right back. 46 minutes past the hour here on Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Alabama. I am one half of I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, I'm Clarissa Vasquez, and the other half of this amazing radio team is none other than the man of mystery, Jax.
How you doing, everybody?
So we have got a great guest on the line. Oh my gosh, this guy has got so many fingers in so many proverbial pies. It is crazy. And I don't know about you, Jax, but I'm having a really good time learning more about him and his endeavors. This is really cool.
Yes, I'm kind of curious. How do you keep everything all balanced?
Very carefully. I have somebody that I work with, very close to me, and he's been doing this for a very long time, and he is pretty much, I have to say, I've learned a lot from him. He is my mentor. He is like I said, he pretty much holds the glue to most of what we do. He's my best friend, but overall, he's a very good asset in this field, and everything that we've worked for and everything that we started, he's on every part, whether it's my team. I mean, obviously he's not on the New Hampshire Paranormal Girl, but every other thing that we have, we're all a part of. We're all one big family, and we whether it's one team going out or another, we roll with it, and we do what we have to do. We have enough people between the four teams that if it gets crazy, we can handle it.
Elaborate a little bit more on the Paracon you're going to be starting up in 2020.
Absolutely, guys. So, me and Eric were talking, and I was thinking, well, the one thing I've been wanting to do is hold a Paracon. So we checked out a venue in Manchester, New Hampshire, but unfortunately they don't book out till a year. So I haven't been able to announce, the date for sure, because I have to wait till July of 2019. But I can tell you, Nightmare Productions presents a haunted Paracon, and that'll be at a venue in Manchester. And I'm going to once I can get everything to where I'm able to advertise and stuff like that, there will be guest celebrities that have actually already offered to come to it. I'm very humbled. I'm hoping this goes well. There'll be a VIP party along with the convention. So it'll be my first one, to be honest with you. I'm really, really proud of that. I know it's going to be a lot of hard work, but to do whatever it takes to make this happen, because it's something I've always wanted to do.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Like I said, guys, I can't say much about it because, unfortunately the hotel books a year out. Put my brother on at that point, I can announce it and we can, advertise it then. There's not too much I can say about it except for everything is pretty much in the works. I just can't announce it until July.
Okay.
Of 2019.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back later in the year so we can talk about this Paracon.
Absolutely.
And that was something I think I was discussing it with Eric yesterday. Is that, you know, I speak at a lot of Paracons, and you know, they're
maybe we can have you guys
fun.
out there too. Maybe do a live radio show right at our Paracon.
That's an idea. That's an idea.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just right down. I'm one state down from you. I'm in Massachusetts, so it's not that far away.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We'll have to explore that a little bit.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the evidence, and I hate using the word evidence. Let's talk a little bit about some of the data that the two organizations have collected over the years. What would you say is your most compelling piece of data to date?
Well, I would have to say, Eric, I hope this is okay that I'm talking about this, but that would have to be with New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife. Have you guys ever heard of the Haunted Victorian Mansion in Gardner, Mass?
Yeah, we investigated there last August.
Yep.
Okay, well, if you go on their website, you'll see a video for New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife on there. He was out there investigating, and he got a very piece of compelling evidence. He was his wife was investigating with another female investigator, and she had asked, she felt like her hair was being pulled, and all of a sudden you see her hair like straight come out. And he said, "Did you pull my hair?" And it said, "I did." And it's actually on the Haunted Victorian website.
Wow.
As we speak. So it was like, it was, you know, that would be one of the pieces of evidence. The second one is we were, have you guys heard of the, it's the mansion, oh wow, I'm drawing a blank here, guys. I'm so sorry. It's in Hampton, New Hampshire. Oh man. Give me a minute here, and I'll remember. Drawing a blank here, guys. Yeah.
Well, regardless of the location, what happened?
Okay, so what happened was my brother was walking out. The governor's mansion in Hampton, New Hampshire. Okay, so he was asked to go grab some batteries for us, and he went outside of the mansion and started walking around. And all of a sudden, he was looking in the window, and this lady with a silhouette dress was waving at him in the window. Now, I've never seen my brother, you know, act the way he did that night, but he gets on the radio and he says, "There's somebody staring at me in the window. Who is this?" And she's wearing a white silhouette dress, you know, and she's just waving. And the owner of the mansion said, "Well, that's the person who haunts it." And my brother was like, "Okay," and he just bolted. He just like ran around the house, and then he got inside the house, and then we started investigating a little spot inside the house. And then about 5 minutes later, you see on camera his shirt being tugged. Like whatever was in that house grabbed the back of his shirt at the same window he had seen that lady. His shirt got tugged, and he got it on camera.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was probably the two pieces of compelling evidence that we got. And then the other one that I had is I had an experience. I was at the Murdoch Whitney house in Winchendon, Mass. Have you guys heard of that?
I have not.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, it's called the Murdoch Whitney house. It's in Winchendon, Massachusetts. My first encounter was I was a tech person at the time for New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife. I had just started with him. And, you know, when we were filming, he's like, "You can't talk on camera," which is fine. Well, that night, I broke all the cardinal rules because I was down in the basement and we were filming, and it sounded like something was like a no, I wouldn't say like a rotten smell, but it smelled like really bad all of a sudden. And I said, you know, something's whispering in my ear, and something just grabbed me. So we go up the stairs, and Eric's like, "Bring your camera. You're coming back down." And I'm like, "No, I'm not," because I'm not gonna lie, I was scared at that point. I was only on his team maybe a month and a half. He goes down into the basement, starts filming, and he got scratched.
Wow.
Immediately. So I was like, he came up, when I'm like, oh my God. But I would have to say the most was the governor's mansion and what we captured that night at the Haunted Victorian Mansion.
That is really, really cool.
And I do believe it's still on their website as of today. So.
Yeah, we had some great experiences when we were at the S.K. Pierce Mansion in Gardner last summer, didn't we, Jax?
Yes, we did.
In fact, you got tossed down a flight of stairs.
Yes, I did.
We were actually down in the basement filming, and we have on camera what looks like a little boy playing hide and seek, too.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yes.
We actually captured with the SLS camera, and I know the SLS camera is still really controversial because it's really temperamental. You know, you move the camera a fraction of an inch in any direction, and the anomaly detected disappears. But I was down in the basement area over near the cistern, and actually tracked an anomaly crawling across the ceiling, and I tracked it with the SLS camera as it crawled across the ceiling.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had some great experiences there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I actually captured on the SLS camera what appeared to be second floor, on the third floor, on the stairwell from the third floor to the second floor, right in the banister on the inside of the stairwell.
Oh, wow.
And I actually got it recorded of each of them putting their hand in my hand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
It was.
It was really cool. But on that note, it is time for our top of the hour break. But when we come back, we're going to have more with Charles Caron. So stay tuned, folks. You are listening to Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting, and we will be right back after this message from NPR. 4 minutes past the hour here on Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Alabama. I am Clarissa Vasquez, and the peanut butter to my jelly is none other than Mr. Jax.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have got a great guest on the line, folks. If you're just tuning in, this gentleman is the co-founder and co-owner of Nightmare Productions. He's also the founder of New Hampshire Paranormal Research and the president and founder of New Hampshire Paranormal in the proverbial fire. I don't know how he does it. Like we mentioned earlier in the show, I've been investigating for over 20 years, as has Jax. I write books on ghosts and the paranormal. I do my research. I host the radio shows and everything. I don't know that I could do what this guy does. But we are really enjoying having Mr. Charles Caron on the show with us this evening. And you were telling us while we were at break that you had a really interesting experience at the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast.
Yes. We did it was like a public event there, but I'm very close with Lucky Bell Camino, who is the official psychic medium to the Lizzie boarding house. And they were having an event there, and I was able to buy tickets, but you can pick, you can book the room that you want to be in. Well, the whole night was going well investigating, and then we get there to his wife, Eric Knapp from Hunting the Haunted. Lucky was in there. And I kind of made a cardinal mistake because I'm not one to antagonize. I'm not one to provoke. But we were in the mother's room to the Lizzie Borden house, and which is my favorite room of the house. And I said, if there's somebody here, give us a sign, or if you want me to leave, show me something. And I got scratched. I got scratched on my arm. I got scratched on my leg. And it felt like I got pushed out the door at the Lizzie Borden. Now, the twist to all this story is that night, me and Eric Knapp from Hunting the Haunted slept there in that room. And me and him were talking probably 3, 4 in the morning. And he turns around and he says to me in the middle of us talking, "Bro, you're never gonna believe me of what just happened." And I said, "What?" He goes, "I just got hit or grabbed in the groin area."
Wow.
Something where the murder took place,
Right.
where the mother got murdered on the floor. He actually slept there that night.
Okay.
And all night, we were hearing activity, like it sounded like somebody was talking in the room, and we just fell asleep. And it was probably 2 or 3 hours. We just couldn't keep our eyes no more. We were just trying to listen to the room in complete silence. We put a camera to record it, and we fell asleep. But apparently, I was told that he had picked up some activity on camera, talking to the camera. I wasn't able to validate any of that because, I never looked at any of the video, but that's what I was told. But I can tell you that while we were in that room, I made a very cardinal mistake, and I tried to provoke whatever was in that room, and I felt it because I got scratched numerous times.
That is really cool. And there is actually a picture on social media of me laying face down on the floor in the spot where Abigail Borden was murdered. So,
Yes.
yeah, so I'm very familiar with that spot where he was sleeping.
That is my favorite room in the house. If I'm going to investigate there, that I believe, my honest opinion, I believe that is one of the hearts to the house. Well,
and actually a really interesting story. A few years ago, a mutual friend of mine and Jax, she was staying at the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast with another investigator who has been trying for years to make a name for himself, and he keeps trying, but they were there. They had the entire place to themselves, and they were in Abigail's bedroom, and something spooked him to the point, SpongeBob boxer shorts, and ended up sleeping downstairs in the parlor on one of the sofas in the parlor because it spooked him so bad being upstairs in Abigail's bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got to tell you, I was definitely, when I went down to lay down there that night, I was definitely feeling that something was there. And being scratched prior, I almost didn't go back in that room. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, I loved it, and like I said, I love that house, and eventually this season we're gonna go back. I want to bring the Paranormal girls in there, but I definitely had a fun night, and it was very interesting. Like I said, I made that cardinal mistake, and I paid for it. But at the end of the day, the Lizzie Borden is one of my top 5 that I really enjoyed going to and investigating.
Yeah, I like it just for its historical value.
Mm-hmm.
I majored in history in college, and so to, the architecture and then the historical, significance of the building itself, regardless of the haunted aspect of it, just the historical value of it. I love that location. I think it's a phenomenal building with a great history, and a really, really cool story to tell.
Oh, absolutely. The history alone is right up there in my book as well.
Yeah, the whole town of Fall River, really seems to have that whole historical mystique to it.
I'll tell you another house I enjoyed, guys, was the the Hinsdale House in New York.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys have heard of that or you're familiar with that.
I've heard of it. I have not been there.
I had a little incident there. We were on site with a paranormal team that I'm no longer associated with, but I was up in the room, Mary's room, where a lot of activity has taken place in the past there, and I felt like a dread, like something was telling me I had to stay there. They literally had to like pick me up and walk me out of the room. And 10 minutes later, I went right back up there, supposedly sat back on the bed, and same thing. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I can just tell you that I wanted to be in that room and I didn't want to leave. And then the second night I went up there, a couple years later, I actually was very sick. I had we were doing an investigation, but I ended up going up there and I had pneumonia.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So the night that we went up there, I wasn't able to investigate. I sat on the couch all night. So it was like, oh, but I was kind of, bummed out, but I definitely want to go back there as well. That was one of my favorite spots one of my favorites that I've investigated as well.
That is really cool.
So
outstanding.
But I mean, go ahead.
No, I was gearing up to ask another question, but you had more to add, so go for it.
No, I was kind of wanted to comment on, that you guys were kind of surprised with having my hands and everything. And then, like I said, I got to reiterate, I couldn't do it without Eric. I mean, he as well. I mean, he's a very big part of what we do and how we get together with, making everything click. We do have our hands in a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, we're definitely out there for that, that one reason.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about client follow-up, because there are a lot of organizations out there that, they'll go in and they'll conduct an investigation and they'll say, yes, we believe your location is haunted, or no, we don't believe your location is haunted, and this is why. But for those locations, where you believe you have obtained data that could indicate client, as far as, case resolution and client satisfaction.
Very good question. The one thing I tell the client before I even investigate a home is, you have me until the very end. If I go in there the very first time and I get nothing, I'm going to come back out there and I'm going to investigate it again for you until you feel comfortable in your own home. Now, I've gotten spots where I've investigated and we've got nothing, and then we go back 6 months later and it's major activity. I do what's best for the client. If we investigate and they don't want us to do a follow-up, I respect their wishes. If we ask up front, would you like this to come back out? If they tell us no, then we put their thing in archives and we let them know what we found. But that's it. I mean, we are first and foremost what they want, what's comfortable for them. We've had clients tell us they don't want to know. And then we've had clients tell us, hey, even if it's not haunted, give us a call and come out. And we will do that. We have gone places after investigating and looked up information and done, all what we've had to. And we take everything that we've done that night, whether it's data, EVPs, if we've got anything we've caught on camera, and we'll go to the client and say, hey, this is what we got. And, 9 times out of 10, they're satisfied with that, or they'll say, oh, can you come back out and investigate? And again, at the end of the day, we're there for, and if we can't, if at any point, we're all about paranormal unity as well. So if at any point they want a second opinion, we're okay with that too. So
that's very cool. How do you then approach situations where you've obtained data that indicates potential paranormal activity and the client wants it gone?
Okay, so me and Eric don't, we go to investigate. But if, let's say, to answer your question as best possible, if there's something there that they want their house cleansed or something that we have people that will go out there and help. We just investigate. We don't, I know demonologists. I've never come across anything demonic in the 5 years that I've been doing this. Step in and help. All we do is investigate, get evidence, and if it's something, that is above that, then we obviously we will step in and, ask for the higher ups to say, hey, this is what we got. Can you help us? Can you step in?
Okay.
We've never come across anything though for that to ever happen. But if it did happen, we would take the proper steps and do what we had to make sure, A, the client is safe in their own home, and we would do whatever we could to help them get rid of whatever's in their house, if that's what they wanted.
Right. Okay. So you guys are strictly then observe and report, but you have outside resources that you can utilize should the client wish for that type of resolution.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I have, yes, that is correct.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. And you're not alone out there. There are a lot of organizations out there that are strictly observe and report. And that's not necessarily, I'm always curious to know, what each organization has for, case resolution and client satisfaction, in the instances, where you've got data that indicates, paranormal activity and the client wants it resolved. They want it gone. So,
right.
And on that note, it is time for our next break. But when we come back, we're going to have our closing remarks with Charles. So stay tuned, folks. You are listening to Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting, and we will be right back.
Son of a...
Hey, son.
Mother...
Son, what are you doing?
Hey, Mom. I'm getting ready to listen to Periscope Uncensored.
By expanding your vocabulary.
Well, it is uncensored.
Son, the uncensored part of Periscope Uncensored is Jax and I getting down to brass tacks with all aspects of the paranormal. There's no fluff on our show.
So, no off-color commentary?
I didn't say that.
Awesome!
Son?
I just hit my head.
Oh boy, I'll go get you an ice pack. Catch Periscope Uncensored Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
22 minutes past the hour here on Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Alabama. I am Clarissa Vasquez, and my faithful and trusty sidekick this evening, of course, is Mr. Jax.
How you doing, everybody?
And real quick before we get back to our guest, we want to send a shout out to one of our loyal listeners who unfortunately is not able to listen live this evening as she has a family member who is very, very ill. But we do want to send a shout out to Brenda and wish her and her mom both the best. Wish her mom a very speedy recovery, and let Brenda know that we do miss her this evening. And let's get back to our guest this evening. We've been talking to a really remarkable gentleman who is the co-founder and owner of Nightmare Productions. He's also the founder of New Hampshire Paranormal Research and the founder of New Hampshire Paranormal Girls. He's also a co-founder and partner in crime at New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife, and he's a Charles of many trades.
very, very fortunate to be able to do what we have, and I'm very, very honored and humbled.
Well, I got to tell you, I tip my hat to you, sir, because, like we discussed during our last segment, I've got a lot of irons in the paranormal fire, and I don't know how you do it all. I certainly couldn't do all of the projects that you do, and you're getting ready to launch a Paracon in just over a year.
Yep.
So, I tip my hat to you because you are definitely a busy, busy man. But as I know, we're only as good as our partners, and you've got an amazing partner in your brother Eric.
Yes.
And a lot of, mutual respect to be able to work with someone as well as you and Eric seem to work together.
There is a lot of trust between us, and he knows no matter where he is or what he is, I don't care, we help each other, we support each other, and we support the teams that we're affiliated with, but we also are very big on the community too. We, on top of that, we work with In Town Manchester. We've done the parades here. We've done the zombie walk. We have been given, access to helping them as well. So we're all about giving back too, as well.
That is outstanding. And so what would you say, aside from time, this production company and doing these digital shows that you produce, what's the biggest obstacle with all of this?
I would have to say, to be truthful with you, runs smooth. And it runs smooth only because of Eric. We've done, I'll give you a perfect example. He just put all of our season together, 6 episodes, and he did it in under 3 weeks. And anybody who's watched our shows, he's very meticulous. He's very good at what he does. When it comes to the, getting the stops, dealing with the community, the backbone, it's all me. But he's the inside. He's definitely the glue that holds all this together. He does the videos. He does the produce them. When we get on site, he makes sure everything is the way it is. He is pretty much the into the company, and I'm pretty much the out. I couldn't do it without him. I could, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to do it without him. And I'm sure if he was on tonight, he'd tell you the same thing. Of course he could do it on his own, but we work together. We work so good. It's been this way. And I wouldn't pass him up or trade him up for anything. If I were to be given a choice, and he walked away tomorrow, I would probably stay on, but it would be very different without him.
Definitely. Go ahead, Jax.
Well, I, for one, sir, also tip my hat to you. There's much respect from me to you and your brothers.
Well, thank you. We're all about paranormal unity. We're all about supporting other people in the field. We're not about the glory. I didn't get into this. I'm going to be straightforward with you guys. I didn't get into this to be famous. I didn't get into this I got in this to help. That's all we got into it for. We're here to help people, better research the field, and do what we got to do. At the end of the day, we're all about supporting other teams, supporting the community. We're about doing what we have to do. My biggest accomplishment, honestly, or the biggest thing I'm proud of, is the the fact that I was able to, give a guy who only had weeks left to live and give him what he wanted. And then, God, grumpy, wherever you are, God rest your soul. But at the end of the day, I'm proud that I was able to do that for him. And if you guys go onto the New Hampshire Paranormal Girls website for Facebook, you'll see the picture. I have all the girls with the gentleman, the special guest that night. He wanted to take a pic on the stairs with all of them. And that is going to be, that is actually being blown up as we speak to give to his wife. So she'll always have something remembering him. And to be quite honest with you, I gave him one of my shirts, and he never took it off. So he wore it to me, that's my biggest being in this field, because I was able to help somebody, and I didn't even bat an eye. I went to Eric and I said, look, you got your connections with the city, make this happen. Can we make it happen quick? And I'm going to tell you what, he worked his magic, and it was a matter of not even a week and a half. We were at the cemetery filming, but the time he did, we were able to interview him. And then, like I said, a week and a half later, I got the call and I went over there to see him. And then an hour later, he passed.
Oh.
So that's my biggest accomplishment, guys. I've got a very big heart. I'm willing to help anybody. Like I said, I'm not in it for the wrong reasons. I'm in it for the right reasons.
It definitely sounds like it. Yes.
Yes.
So where can people learn more about Nightmare Productions, New Hampshire Paranormal Research, New Hampshire Paranormal Girls? Where can people find out more about you and find out more about your organizations?
Absolutely. What I can do is I have the New Hampshire I'll start off with New Hampshire Paranormal Girls. I have a Facebook page. I'm actually building a website with them as we speak, which I'll put on the Facebook page. But anybody that has Facebook, they can go on Facebook and then type in the NH Paranormal Girls, and they will come up. Nightmare Productions is the same thing. We do have a website for Nightmare Productions. If you go on to Facebook as well, type up Nightmare Productions, and that comes up. Paranormal Conspiracy is the same thing. We're right on Facebook with them. Spells out as it is, Paranormal Conspiracy. NH Paranormal Research is on Facebook as well, and I have a website where I can be reached. All our pages are on Facebook, and there is websites for them, so they can go in there, and or they can private message the page, and me and Eric will respond to every one of them. So
outstanding.
And yeah, anybody has any questions or anything, they can message me directly, or they can message the page, and we'll get right back to them.
Where can people go to watch the episodes from New Hampshire Paranormal Girls and New Hampshire Paranormal Research?
Oh, all right. So New Hampshire Paranormal Girls will be starting their first season, and that will be going up probably spring of this year. The episodes that we've done so far are actually on Nightmare Productions. The Facebook page, you can go right to Nightmare Productions, and all the episodes are right there.
Outstanding.
Great.
Outstanding. And so really social media and Facebook is the best way to get in touch with you and to get in touch with Eric with regard to Nightmare Productions and all of the investigation research teams, correct?
Absolutely, yes. There's we have more than one ways. We have more than one ways for people to get a hold of us. They can go right to Facebook, like I said, or like I said, in my community, I have a paranormal truck, so a lot of people know who I am. I mean, I can go to a convenience store, I can go to a grocery store. They've seen the truck. So yeah, I mean, we're very well known here in our town. And like I said, if anybody out of state or whoever wants to get a hold of us, then you'll write to Facebook, and we're not that, whatever questions they have or whatever they need, we're there.
And are there any is there anything else you really think that our listeners need to know about you or your organizations, or anything? We're running out of time here. We've only got about 9 minutes left with you. So is there anything else that people really need to know about you, or if they're interested in joining one of your organizations, or interested in learning more about the Paracon, what is the best method? Is that social media, or is there an email address, or how can people get in touch?
Yep, absolutely. First off, let me say to the listeners, I'm very humble and grateful for everything that's come my way, whether it's any opportunity that's been given to me, or the fact that I'm able to host the Paracon. I'm very grateful. I'm very humble. I'm very humble for everything that's ever been brought to me. If anybody has any questions, though, they can email me, nhparanormalresearch@yahoo.com. Any questions about the Paracon, or if they want to reach me, my phone number is actually on the Facebook page as well, so they can reach me. And like I said, with everything, that we've got going on, I'm just very humble, very thankful. And wherever this road leads us, I'm going to keep doing what we're doing. And I'm not going to look back.
Outstanding. Well, I think that later in the year, as soon as you've got that venue locked in for the 2020 Paracon, I think we're going to have you and maybe even Eric on the show to talk about the Paracon and, talk about some more of your experiences. Because
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would love to do another show at some point in the near future, and have Brother Fingers on, and you guys pick his brain as well. I mean, I'd be all for that, and I'm sure he would be too. And we'll definitely love to come back in July and talk about that as well. But I mean, if you guys want us back sooner too, even to bring Brother Fingers on too, so he can tell you his story and where he came. I think you guys will. Will like that as well.
Yeah, I think we may have to reach out and see if we can get him on the show. But for sure, once you guys have that venue locked in, we're going to have one or both of you on, to talk about the Paracon and talk about, the guest list and, and the itinerary for what's going on. Like I said, I do a lot of Paracons. I do a lot of speaking at Paracons, and, some of them are like action packed and really exciting. Like informative duds, but they're all great to attend. So I'm excited to see, where you guys are going to go with this event and what you're going to do, and definitely learn more about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, as it gets closer, I would love to come back on your website, promote it, tell you guys a little bit more about it, and definitely go from there.
Outstanding. We've got about 5 minutes left with you, Charles. And so I did have one last question. And
Absolutely.
Really this is, and I'm sure you get asked this occasionally, and you may have touched on it to a certain degree, but do you guys find that you get more residential cases, or do you get more business cases come your way?
I myself get more residential. I have had more residential come my way. I mean, we have done businesses, but for the most part, it's like 80-20 residential.
Okay. And do you find that you're able to debunk the majority of these cases, or are you actually finding data that indicates potential paranormal activity?
Sometimes it's a hit or miss. We go in the house and there's no activity. We've gone into places where people have called us and they said that they have activity off the wall, and we've gotten there and the house was quiet. Mm-hmm. And then there's been nights where they've called us and we've gone in, and the activity is off the wall. You know, I have found that the paranormal can be a hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could get in there working at that point, or you're not getting anything. You kind of tell the client, you know how it is. You know, look, we're there, we're willing to come back, but at this point, we've investigated, we've done. But at that same point, we're more than willing to go back there. And like I said, I've told the clients numerous times, when they've called me, that I'm there with them until the very end, until they tell me that they don't need me no more, or they feel comfortable in their home. I'm with them till the very end. I don't care. They can call me at 3 a.m., even if it's to talk to me on the phone or tell me what's going on, and I'll answer my phone and listen to them. Because at the end of the day, it's about helping families. It's about making sure that they feel comfortable being in their own home.
Absolutely. It truly is all about making the clients comfortable in their personal space, whether it's their home or their business, right, or what have you. They have to be comfortable in their personal space. And that's right, really and truly what it's all about. I tell my investigators all the time, this is our purpose. That's the icing on the cake.
Right. Absolutely. I don't believe in faking evidence. I won't go in there and fake evidence. I'm straight up. I will tell the client, if you haven't got, I don't believe in telling them something that isn't there, because at the end of the day, I go home, they still have to live there.
Right.
So, I mean, that's my theory. That's how I think. Like I said, I'm very humble. I'm very grateful. We have a lot of things. We have our hands in a lot of things. But at the end of the day, we're all about paranormal unity. And we're just going to keep doing what we're doing until it's time to hang up our hat.
Well, Charles, we want to thank you for being such a great guest this evening, and we definitely wish you the best of luck in all of your many endeavors.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so humble.
Yeah, we're going to have you back on the show, and maybe we can get Eric on too. That would be a treat.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. You guys would absolutely love him, to be honest with you.
Outstanding. Well, it is time for our final break of the evening, but when we come back, you're going to have more with me and Jax. So stay tuned. You're listening to Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting, and we will be right back. 44 minutes past the hour here on Periscope Uncensored on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Alabama. I am Clarissa Vasquez, and joining me this evening, as always, is let's see. I've already said peanut butter and jelly. I've already said Batman and Robin. I've already said paranormal powerhouse. So I guess the ketchup to my mustard.
How you doing, everybody?
I really got to think of more clever things to call you.
And that's scary, because you will too.
I know.
Yeah. Wow, what a fabulous guest, huh?
Sprinkles on my donut. Yeah, we had a great guest this evening, Mr. Charles Caron, who is the founder of, or co-founder, I'm sorry, of Nightmare Productions. He's the founder of New Hampshire Paranormal Research and the founder of New Hampshire Paranormal Girls. He's also the co-founder of New Hampshire Paranormal Afterlife and the co-founder of Paranormal Conspiracy. And all of those can be found on social media.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how he does it.
You know what? I don't know how he does it either. I really don't.
I mean, you know how busy I am running one investigation organization and writing my books and hosting radio shows. And speaking at conferences and doing all of the fantastic things that I do. I don't know how this guy does it.
Yeah, he definitely has the passion. So, I mean, if he can do it, and if he's still listening right now, keep pushing that envelope, because it's working out.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to have to pop onto the Nightmare Productions Facebook page and catch some of those episodes of New Hampshire Paranormal Girls. I want to see what those girls are up to.
Yeah.
And
I want to see those episodes. I want to see what's going on with that.
yeah, I do too. And, you and I have talked about, doing the whole visual production thing, and you've told me, do your own show. And I went, no. But here's the guy, he's actually out there doing it.
Yes. Yes. And I'm serious when I say that. It's do your own thing. I mean, the American Pickers, that's how they started. And all it starts is just one episode followed by a second episode. The next thing you know, you got season 2 starting.
Yeah, I don't know where I would find time. I mean, I barely sleep as it is.
Well, you know what? You would make the time. If you got enough drive and enough passion, which I know that you do, you would find the time to do it.
Yeah, but I barely sleep as it is, so I don't know where I would find the time or the energy, to do something like that. I don't know, because I'm a very busy person right now. But I love what I do.
But at the same time, it's like, you don't have to give out, like, just film your investigations. Each investigation is its own episode. That's all you got to do. You don't have to give major detail, because confidentiality, obviously. Right. You don't have to give an address. You don't have to give, don't even show the outside of the location.
That's true. It's doable. It's totally doable. Like I said, I just don't know when I would find the time, because I'm busy.
Yes. No, I understand how busy you are. I get it.
Right. But like I said, I love what I do. I love my research. I love my organization. I love writing my books. I love doing the radio shows. I love what I do, and I wouldn't want it any other way. And, Charles is very lucky to have an amazing partner in crime, just as I'm very lucky to have an amazing partner in crime. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And, it's really easy in this field to become overwhelmed, to have so many irons in the fire. And, when you're writing books and doing radio shows and speaking at conferences and, planning events and stuff like that, it's really easy to get overwhelmed. But when you have an amazing partner at your side, it helps to alleviate some of that burden, and also helps, give you ideas and encouragement and momentum. And so for that, I tip my hat to you, sir.
Thank you. You know what? I couldn't have been here and done this without you either. So, we're in the same boat together here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Long time.
Yes.
We love you long time.
And let's just keep pushing this envelope, see where this goes,
Yeah. No, I'm excited. we've been on WBHM for a little over a month now. And I like where the show is headed. And, we've got some great guests coming up. Who do we have coming up next week?
Next week, we have a very good friend of mine, again, that I've known for 3 or 4 years. And he goes by the name of Qvid. We call him Q for short.
Yes, the British invasion is coming to Periscope Uncensored.
Yes. So much British invasion, he's actually from Liverpool.
Yes.
UK. Home of the Beatles.
Yeah, let's not get him started on the Beatles, though. He's got some colorful things to say about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's had some really cool paranormal experiences. And so I'm kind of excited to talk to him about those.
Yeah, he's a bit of a skeptic, but he's slowly coming around, but he's still holding on to that skepticism like a stubborn mule sometimes, but that's okay. That's good. Being stubborn is good. Being skeptical is good. And in this field, you have to have a skeptical mind.
Yeah, definitely.
You always have to have that, certain skepticism, going in and try to debunk and finding natural phenomenon for a said activity that's going on at any particular location. So, yeah.
Yeah. So next week is going to be really exciting because we're going to have the British invasion. We're going to have Qvid on the show. And we're going to have to try to curb his sense of humor a little, I think.
And what sense of humor is that?
Well, you say he has really no sense of humor or a dry sense of humor. I think he's funny as heck. But, maybe I just understand his sense of humor a little better. But then again, he likes to pick on me. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes I watch, British shows and I'm just sitting there and the whole audience is laughing and I'm just sitting there going, I didn't get it. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, completely off topic of the paranormal, and I realize this is a paranormal show. The UK version of All in the Family.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember off the top of my head. Those were the days, or something to that effect, or whatever it was. I rented it from the public library.
Okay.
And I lasted 2 minutes watching the first episode. It was like, okay, I'm done.
Do you ever watch Mrs. Brown's Boys?
No.
Oh, I'm going to have to expose you to Mrs. Brown's Boys. Yep, I'm going to have to expose you to Mrs. Brown's Boys. That's one you will laugh your butt off.
I mean, back in the day, I used to love Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Doctor Who's not a funny show.
No.
So, yeah,
No.
I will get you exposed to Mrs. Brown's Boys. And you'll discover real British comedy. A lot of people, they think British comedy and they think Mr. Bean. No.
I was just going to say that. I like Mr. Bean.
Oh, no, Mrs. Brown's Boys is way better than Mr. Bean.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
Oh, you just wait.
Okay.
Let the YouTube clips commence.
Yay. Yeah.
Yeah, so next week, the British invasion, we're going to have Qvid. And then the week after that, I think we're going to have Dan Norville from the Dan Norville Project. I think. I'm still working on getting that finalized. So, but we'll announce next week, who our guest after that's going to be. And then coming up in March, I may be doing the show live from an investigation. Still don't have those details nailed down yet, but it'll be out here in Colorado, so no big surprises for you this time. Sorry. Okay. So, lots of big and exciting things are coming up here on Periscope Uncensored, and we're happy to have all of our listeners tuning in and joining us. And we definitely want to thank everyone who tuned in tonight. We want to thank Charles Caron for being such an amazing guest and sharing his knowledge and his experiences with us. And, and again, I don't know how he does it. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens with him and all of his projects in the future. He's definitely on our radar. So, oh, did we lose Jax? It says he's talking. Well, it was saying he was talking, but there's no sound.
Oh,
there he's back. Yay!
I'm glad it's going out at the end of the show, not in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Wish it wasn't going out at all, but it's live radio.
Yeah, it's live radio. That's the nature of the beast. So hopefully we can get those connection issues resolved here soon, so that it's not an issue anymore. So we are working on that, folks. We understand that there have been a lot of technical difficulties over the last few weeks. We are aware, and we are taking the steps to get those fixed. But on the plus side, Jax doesn't sound like he's sitting on a beanbag eating Cheetos. That's a good thing. But we have. I have no idea what you just said because all I heard was but we are out of time anyway. So on that note, folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off. So for Jax, Kat, the WBHM family of hosts, and myself, we want to wish everyone a great evening, and may all of your ghosts be friendly.
Stay spooky, everybody.